he was studying, the whole big thing was, what's the difference between Kung Fu and Karate? Kung Fu. Okay, let's not go there. Well, the bottom line was Kung Fu was supposed to be more circular and Karate was more angular and linear. Then, a few years later, we found out what's the difference between the internal and the external. The Kung Fu was circular, but it had still a lot of sharp angles. And then the internal styles was more circular, and then you got the Bagua, which takes it to another level. So, but the main thing is, if you read, all of this is just physics and mechanics. In the Tai Chi Classic, it said, seek the straight from the curve, seek the curve from the straight. When something's coming at you, if you're not, the bottom line is you can use a straight line motion, a circular motion, or whatever kind of move you want. The thing is, physics, in the way the world is created, a circular motion can redirect force a lot more efficiently with a greater effect than a sharp angular motion that just has a few inches or so of momentum. That same motion done in a curve can generate much more momentum because it's taking up more space, but with the spiral and point of contact, you're taking that momentum and acceleration into an arc, which means it might look like you're moving slower, but you're actually moving faster. And if you do the physics and the math of it, you'll find that a circular movement will generate much more force in a shorter period of time. And because the body structure is one muscle connected to the other side, everything in the universe is really some form of a spiral. If you move in a spiral pattern, your structure will be better off than if you're snapping and tearing muscle fibers and stuff like that. So when you're doing a move, the objective is to get all of your circles to move together. See, I'm turning, but I'm not breaking my skeletal alignment. So when you're pushing, it's just like when you're practicing your form. When you're doing your form, try to pay more attention. Slow down a little bit. Are you in alignment? When you go into a turn or if you're changing motions, are you still keeping your center? If you're doing Xing Yi or whatever, everything is on the center line, rotating. You have to become the eye of the storm. Okay, so everything like as far as footwork, because when we freestyle, we move around a little bit. But first we're going to do the 4 gates, okay, so that you'll understand. Because, like I said, in fighting, like say for instance the octagon, there's 8 directions you can move in. When you're moving, you have to realize that this 8 gates is teaching you about balance. Because when you set up a structure, if you want to cut it into angles, it's like an 8-slice piece of pie. So you have a solid, straight, square, angular force no matter which way you turn. So if it's a side attack, you have a strong. So say for instance when you're doing an arm motion, there's you divide your leg up into an octagon. Either it's a straightforward attack, but see then I have to turn my center to meet that hand. Or there's no power. There's no power when your shoulder, you open your shoulder blade, or close your shoulder blade and hit somebody, it's not that much power. This is why they say sink chest. So when you're sinking, no matter what you do, something's got to be facing your center on one of your angles of power. But like I said, there's a lot of small details. So when you're shifting, you follow the octagon on the leg. So you got a triangle here, elbow staying over knee, following the center of the leg. If you're attacking this way, this hand's in the center. If you're going back to the front, wrist is on the center. If you're going off to the side, then the corner of the wrist or this corner stays on the center. That way you can control your spear. But you turn your body, and remember, when one hand leaves, another hand comes into the center. Otherwise, your body is off balance. So ward-off roll-back press and push is just a special type of technique to set up for arm, because one of the main things is people say Tai Chi, Tai Chi, Tai Chi, and you know the history and all that stuff is doesn't really matter much to most people, but all of the Kung Fu techniques evolved, and the Tai Chi and stuff came supposedly out of the Chen. But no matter what you're doing, Tai Chi, Ching Yi, or Baba, the bottom line is, in a fight, you're trying to stop the opponent as quick as you can.